of the morning. I'm excited because we have something really special planned for today. So most weeks you hear from just one speaker up here, but today we're actually going to hear from 6 members of the River community. And they're going to share with us about some of the unique ways that they connect with and care for creation. And so to introduce our first 2 speakers, I would like to invite up Maddie Abbott. Let's give Maddie a warm welcome.
Hey everyone, my name is Maddie. I'm the ministry assistant here at the River, and I also have the honor and the pleasure of directing our River Youth program here. So our River Youth program serves youth who are aged in grades 6 through 12, and we meet most Sundays during the service back there in the lounge area. You may hear us sometimes to explore issues at the intersection of faith and the lives that our youth are leading. So some of the units that we've done in the past have been units on spiritual practices, units where we learn about different expressions of Christianity around the world. This past fall, we did a unit on looking at ethical decision-making through the Bible. And right now, we're doing a unit where we are going through the New Testament. So exploring all these different types of things. But also, as part of our River Youth program, we love to give youth the opportunity to participate in the life of the church in various ways. And one of those ways is sometimes, occasionally during special services like this one, you'll see youth sharing with you and participating in the service itself. And so today we are so thankful to have 2 members of our River Youth program who are going to be sharing with you a little bit in honor of Earth Day. Each of them is going to be sharing with you a little bit about something that they do outside of school that helps them to connect with nature and the environment. So we're so thankful that they're here and willing to share with us. To start, I would like to introduce River Youth member Carter Fath. Thank you so much, Carter, for sharing. Give him a warm welcome.
Hey you, I'm Carter. I'm a junior at Brooklyn Tech. That's what I've been doing, sort of connected to nature for the past couple of years, is I run a lot on my school's like track team and cross country team. And a lot of that entails is, I go out and I run just sort of basic mileage a lot of the week. And running in the park, on the road, all that tends to be kind of boring. So the best part is when you get to run in nature. Especially, my favorite season is going to be cross country. That's because the cross country races are done in the country. They're in nature. They're only in like Vancouver and Park, something like that. You're running on a trail surrounded by woods. You don't see any cars or anything like that. And obviously really connect with nature because you're completely engulfed by it. You're breathing it in. The air is amazing when you're not, on a road. And you're breathing in a lot of air because you're really running hard. And you get to like be around all these other people racing next to you side by side in nature, in the woods. And initially going on that, every year, actually, my team, we have like a camp we go to. And the best part of this camp is that it's upstate in nature. It's by Woodstock, it's around 7 miles out of Woodstock. And in it, we're surrounded entirely by the woods. You go for runs. You have to go for runs on the highway, but the highway is right next to the woods, running through nature. And it's just serene. It helps you really get your mind in a position where they, do work. So it sort of feels kind of like primitive in a way. That feels like helps you connect with nature a lot. But on that sort of primitive part, one of my favorite events in the track season, when you're not running in the woods, you're on like a real track, is going to be the steeplechase, which is some amount of kilometers, and it's done where each lap has a water jumper. You jump in this big pit of water. And that too helps you connect with nature. It's based on horse races, because the horse races, you do them in the woods, you have to run through a creek. The closest thing to do to a creek would be jumping in a pit of water. So all this stuff really helps you bring you closer to nature. And so I think if people start running everything, you run, not you see everyone running on the park, on the sidewalk. That's not the right way to do, but you got to go in the trails. Central Park, Prospect Park, they all have trails in them. You got to find the trails, and that's where all the best running happens, in the mud, in the dirt, in the rain, everything like that. Thank you for letting me talk. James?
Hi, I'm James. I'm in 6th grade. How happy birthday, or well, like 3 days ago, birthday. I'm here to talk about gardening. Sorry. Okay. I garden in the spring, summer time. It's very annoying and very fun at the same time. I normally plant cucumbers and tomatoes, and then some sort of herb thing. I have learned that you have to be very careful. You, like, literally have to be very attentive. You can't do anything. Sorry, I'm not driving. Well, sorry. You can't, like, leave them just to sit and do nothing. You kind of have to, like, every day, which is why they, like, fail, like, every day. My favorite part is when you get to, like, pick it and just see what you got. That's always very fun. I make pickles with the cucumbers. Much easier than you think, I will say. Much easier than you think. Yeah, thank you. Happy birthday. And back to Allison.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you both so much. Could we give them one more big round of applause? Yes. All right, now that the bar has been set so high by our River Youth, we're going to hear from some of our adults. So first up, I would like to invite Yu Chen. Let's give Yu Chen a warm welcome.
Hello, everybody. So when I hear Earth Day, the first thing that populates my mind is all the Instagram photos. Instantly, I can picture the sultriest photos of Mother Nature that would make Father God blush. The verdant, undulating hills of New Zealand, or the silken sands of Maui, or the bashful, snowy peaks of Hokkaido. Over the years, social media influencers and even my own friends have stirred up a stew of insecurity, which I have gladly eaten. How can I profess to love the earth when I've hardly seen its beauty? All of creation has been commodified, and if I was allowed into Eden, Instagram would be one of the first to know. When I was asked to speak, I felt a little unworthy because I don't have any pictures of the Northern Lights or stories about the snows of Kilimanjaro. But I have been thinking about reclaiming the sacred and burying the uncommodifiable for myself. So in late 2024, Annie left me to see her family in Vietnam. In turn, I deserted our cat for a Saturday, and I took the Metro North up to Connecticut. I had been thinking of my 2025 New Year's resolution, and I had resolved to catch a fish for the first time. I wanted to get some practice in before the new year, so I enlisted the help of one of my tea friends, an avid fisherman who knew the lay of the land and tributaries. So on a gray December day, we drove out with 2 fishing poles, 2 beers, 2 sandwiches, and 1 fish-driven friendship. We parked in a neighborhood, and I was told we had to hike out to the river. It was a cold day, and it had rained overnight, like today, resulting in a boggy, sodden trail. 5 minutes in, I slipped and fell on my butt. I carried a large brown streak of shame for the rest of the day. We eventually came face to face with the rushing river, and there I was told for the first time that we had to cross, as the fish were not on this side. My friend wore waterproof waders while I wore brown pants, and so I was dutifully piggybacked across the river, my diminutive friend gasping under the weight of our 2 fishing poles, 2 beers, 2 sandwiches, and 1 fish-driven friendship. I caught and released 4 small trout that day, and thus, thank you. I did not have a New Year's resolution for 2025. I also caught and released a few tree branches and my own brown pants. The earth was glorious that day, as it is today and will be tomorrow. I have glorious photos with the fish, but today I wanted to share the non-commodifiable glory of my other senses. The air that day was minty and it glowed in my lungs. The mulchy smell of earth followed me for the day on my pants, interspersed with the scent of green pine and damp wood. During our river crossing, my friend stumbled and nearly made me a tea bag, and I remember the sharp, icy clarity as the singing river briefly swallowed my foot. I will never forget the first time I wrestled a tiny fish and held it in my hands, marveling at the duality of its sliminess and rainbow brilliance. That day was so cold that even the loving warmth of a Modelo could not dispel the cold from my chattering bones and trembling hands. But the warmth of that memory reminds me that I do love the earth. The sounds, the smells, the taste, and touch of the earth are unknowable, and I think that experiencing nature without conditionality attached is sacred. Thank you.
Thank you, Yu-Chen. Next, I'd like to invite up Vicky. Let's give Vicky a really warm welcome.
Hi, everyone. Before I start, I just want to let you know I have a weird nervous reaction where I begin to not just tear, sob. So if I do that, please forgive me. And I will try to compose myself and continue. Okay. I will also just be looking down and not at people. Okay. When I was a little girl, one of my favorite characters on Looney Tunes was Elmira. Who remembers Elmira? Yeah. So as a little girl, I absolutely connected with her. She actually loved animals so much that she tortured them, and the animals hated her, but that's besides the point. I understood her heart and passion for the animals, and I related to that. That love for animals still remains a large part of my character. All the different creatures and natural elements that surrounds us always fascinated me. I love and still love water. Being underwater at the pool or the beach, all the sounds seemingly turned off. The only thing I heard was the muted muffles underwater. We would resort to communicating underwater just by signaling, so simple and fantastical. During my childhood, our father used to take us camping on the Delaware River, and I lived for the rushing rivers, both observing it and being in it. I loved watching the crawfish scurry by my feet, a small pool of fish swam past, or those Jesus bugs dancing on the surface of the water. It was so delightful to see all of nature in motion. No one telling it what to do, instead, all of nature just intuitively doing their part. I still love being underwater till this day. Another activity that I enjoy is finding life in the sand and finding life under rocks. Both activities I now like to do with my kids. When you lift a rock, that small, naked patch of dirt is teeming with life. The millipedes are coexisting with the earthworms and pillbugs, while a whole colony of ants are laying thousands of eggs. The idea that there is so much activity in such a small space blows my mind. But I reassure you, we leave it as we found it and place the rock gently back on top of them so that they can go about their day. I have come to respect the cycle of life deeply through the dry, dead winters and the blossoming, vibrant colors of spring. These are just some of the pictures I can't help myself but to take when I'm passing them. As we enter spring, it brings me joy to see sprouts come up and buds grow and blossom, indicating that nature is waking up from its slumber and another life cycle is upon us. The changing of seasons is God's reminder that everything moves in God's timing, and maybe, just maybe, we are invited to observe, be present, enjoy, reflect, instead of worrying and trying to control everything. One praise song that seems to best remind me of the intricate beauty of nature and the powerful details designed so intentionally by God is So Will I by Benjamin William Hastings and Hillsong. The song is beautiful, but I chose some lyrics that really drives this point of view. I will close by reading some of these lyrics to you. As you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born. In the vapor of your breath, the planets form. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've made, every burning star, a signal fire of grace. If creation sings your praises, so will I. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. And as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch your breath. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. If the oceans roar your greatness, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. If the wind goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. Thank you.
Great job, Vicki. Next, I'd like to invite up Andrea. Let's give Andrea a warm welcome.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Andrea. I've been going to the river for 2 years, and my experience with Earth, first slide please, is normally I can relate to people that are extremely anxious about bugs and predators, but somehow I do love nature a lot, and setting my fears aside, I always am in nature and almost always outside. So one day, I used to live in Barcelona, so we went to this permaculture farm in the lands of Catalonia, and it was just the most beautiful experience. It was, at first I had all these fears, but then I connected very much with God and trusted that everything would just be all right. And we had to be in silence there. I couldn't talk about the future or past. And we had to walk in the mountains alone. And I just felt so connected with the mountains and with the present. And it really reminded me of back in the day when I was a child, and you would have, you know, the long grass on your legs, and you would just feel so in the present with everything that grows. So when I had my child, I decided to spend a lot of time with him in nature as well. We're always out and about. So for a couple weeks ago, it had been very cold in New York, and finally it was good weather. So we went outside, but I had to plan a trip, so I had to buy a lot of things, and I didn't really have time to go through the park. But I did because I wanted to enjoy nature. And then But I was hurrying to the park, and Joshua was like, "You're missing out everything, Mom. You're not seeing the beautiful waterfalls and the flowers, and you can't see anything. You're just rushing through it." And I'm like, that's right. We have to be present in this moment, even though, I was in a hurry. So it really made me feel like, yes, it's so good to be in present. It makes you feel so connected to God and to nature and all the creations that are out there, created for us, with us. And so, yeah, I can only invite everybody to find that little piece of green that we have around us and sometimes just sit and be present with nature. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and our final person sharing today is Sarah. Let's give Sarah a warm welcome.
So when I was in 5th grade, I created a petition to have styrofoam lunch trays removed from the cafeteria. They'd replaced our reusable models with the squeaky white stuff we'd learned in science class was capital B bad for the planet. Obviously, in my 10-year-old mind, this must be corrected. The school board sent a representative to meet with me, which, to be honest, made me think I was getting somewhere. I don't remember much from the conversation, but the gist was it wasn't possible at the moment. It took several moments, 17 years to be exact, for the styrofoam trays to finally be replaced. My mom sent me the story when it finally happened. Now the school system has compostable trays, something I couldn't have even imagined at the time. What causes a 10-year-old to be so invested in the environment, you ask? Well, a good bit of that influence came from Captain Planet. This early 90s cartoon helped inspire my young climate activism. In the show, The World is in Peril, Gaia, the spirit of the earth, can no longer stand the terrible destruction plaguing our planet. She sends 5 magic rings to young people from around the world: earth, fire, wind, water, and heart. With the 5 powers combined, they can summon Earth's greatest champion, Captain Planet. I love that they included heart as one of the powers, because I think that's the underlying reason for most of the actual good news about the environment. Humans who love this beautiful planet we've been given and want to make a difference. And there's a lot to love. I saw on Instagram some ways that the earth takes care of us when we spend time outside earlier this week on Earth Day, and I thought some of them was really cool. So she helps our bodies reset. Spending time around trees has been linked to stronger immune resilience, lower cortisol, and a calmer nervous system. Rain also helps us to feel calm. The fresh scent after rain, known as petrichor, is released when raindrops hit the earth. Research suggests it can lift mood, spark comforting memories, and help lower stress by activating the brain's emotional center. And sunshine is not just a mood brightener, it can also support your immune health. When you're exposed to vitamin D, it's good for your immune system and your bones. Being outside, enjoying creation can help us remember why it's so important to protect. Living in the city, it can be harder to do. I'm thankful for my dog who forces me outside at least twice a day. And I will have to say, the more time I spend outdoors, the more I notice. The way the sunlight looks on our early morning strolls, the clouds that get darker and darker when it's going to rain, and the transition little by little from trees with bare limbs to full bloom. How lucky are we that we get to live on this beautiful planet? I want to close with some words from my grandfather, who spent his life among the trees working for the Agricultural Extension Service in North Carolina. He said, "My parents taught me how to listen to a leaf float softly to the earth, to hear the tinkle of a cowbell on the next farm, to smell tasseled corn after a summer rain, to ask for rain at a blessing, and to know and appreciate the beauty of all seasons of the year. In return for all I received and experienced, I try to share some of the beauty they shared with me with others."
Wow. Thank you so much to all of you who shared today. That was so wonderful. It's always really encouraging to be able to hear from members of our community. So at this point, I would like to invite our worship team back up to the stage. Before I hand things, come. Before I hand things over to them, I'm going to lead us in a prayer to close. This prayer is an adapted version of the Lord's Prayer. It comes from the environmental program of the Church of England. This is a responsive prayer. So I'll read the lines that are not in bold, and then all of you will say the bolded lines out loud together. Got it? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Our Father who art in heaven. Hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. As we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. And deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.